So I wasn't going to do this weekend because I did enjoy the verses of Bow Wow and Soulja Boy. And we all know who won. It's clear as day. Shad Moss, a.k.a. Bow Wow, Bow Breezy, won the verses. He did. He won fair and square. He has a lot of hits. He has a lot of collaborations. I was just saying this to my sister. Like, I wasn't like a person that had like a Bow Wow poster on my wall. Nah, I did not. But I always liked the way he rapped. I always was a fan of his rap. And I was always a fan of his collaborations. He did some legendary collaborations with Snoop, with Destiny's Child. I forgot he was on the Jumpin' Jumpin' remix. He did also, he had a collaboration with Escape because it was on his song. He had other collaborations with the Franchise Boys, 3 6 Mafia, The Brat, Chris Brown, Omarion, Sierra, the list goes on and on and on. So he had legendary hits. He's a hit maker. And he has good flow. And he's a lyricist. Out of that whole young crew back then, he was an actual lyricist. So that's my take. That's who won. That's that. Hi, Lee. What's poppin', girl? So I was told by somebody on Twitter to go live. And I will post this video later. But it seemed like the white left is on their bullshit. So I need to pull up the tweet. I'm not going to be on here that long because I want to enjoy the rest of my Saturday. I think I do need to pop a little bottle of champagne or something, or wine. So some people need to be read. So David Hogg, he's one of the Parkland kids, one of the kids that got famous for the March of Our Lives. I believe he was one of the coordinators and founders for March of Our Lives, along with some of his other fellow students. Felt the need to criticize the Democratic Party like he wasn't a Bernie Sanders supporter, which I don't even understand why he supported Bernie Sanders when Bernie Sanders is in bed with the NRA. But who am I? Who is me? So he had all the nerves to say this shit. And he changed his picture today. It's been over 6 months and not one fucking gun law has been passed in with a Dem Senate, House, and White House. Americans are being killed every single day. Democrats should be ashamed. 60 votes is not an excuse. Abolish the fucking filibuster. It's like they are asking to be obliterated in the midterms, if I said that word correctly. So this is what I motherfucking told Mr. Hogg. We're going to address people by their salutations and by their last names and whatnot. So I said this to the young man. Trying to find the shit. Here's some words of wisdom for you. You should focus on calling the local government officials in your home state of Florida, including the 2 GOP senators, U.S. senators of Florida, because he is from Florida, instead of criticizing the Democratic president and the Senate. So therefore, please slow your road. And so somebody, some random motherfucker, had the audacity to say this shit. Holy shit. Attacking a school shooting survivor because he dared to point out the Dems in D.C. have done nothing since 2020 to reform gun laws. So cringe. As a ER nurse who deals with gunshot victims all the time, please shut the fuck up. So first of all, Gordy Stewart, I don't have to shut the fuck up. Every time when I post something and when I say shut the fuck up to somebody, I'll be like, oh, it's a public forum. Well, guess what? It's a motherfucking public forum. So I can say what the fuck I want to say. So you, Gordy Stewart, whatever your fucking name is, because I'm not going to give you no life, you can shut the fuck up. Shut your whole entire motherfucking face up. Don't fuck with me. I'm not that one. But to Mr. Hogg, this message is for you. And I know one of your schoolmates follow me, so I don't care. So I'm going to say this. If you know how civics works, you need 60 votes to kill the filibuster. And it's not only 2 Democratic senators that don't want to kill the filibuster. There's other senators that don't want to kill the filibuster. Am I mad? Absolutely. I want the filibuster to be gone. Out of everybody, my black ass, because I have the right to say that because it's a Jim Crow era style, while your parents is probably voting for fucking Republicans, I want the damn filibuster to be killed. So, that's that. But anyway, getting back to you, Mr. Hogg. If you know how things are and things work, you need legislation to pass, to be written up and pass. Yes, we want things on the federal level, but it all starts on the local level. And the last time I checked, you live in motherfucking Florida. GOP red center. You have a GOP governor, 2 GOP senators who are anti-gun reform, including your governor, and maybe you have a mayor or something that's anti-guns. So, I mean, if you really want to be real and keep it a buck, that's what it is. So you coming after the president who was one of the guys from a long time ago drafted a bill while he was a senator to put a ban on assault weapons, a vice president who advocates for gun safety and gun reform. And actually, you do have Democratic senators that want to do that. And I believe the House, I'm not sure, passed something. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. Because they passed so much shit in the House, it's ridiculous that it's stalled in the Senate. But, to you, Mr. Hogg, call your motherfucking senators, your 2 GOP senators, or better yet, speak to the local representatives in Florida. Call your governor's office. Show up to Tallahassee, because I believe that's the capital. Show up there before you start talking shit about the Democratic Party. See, you know what the problems are with these young white leftists per se? They want to blame people in the executive branch and the legislative branch on the federal level when it's most so local level who has these motherfucking laws in place. It's them. It's them. It's not on the federal level, because the federal level will put a ban on everything, but you always can't rely. You need to start on the local level. And if you got a problem with your 2 GOP senators, David, you can always vouch for Val Demings. She can be your junior senator. Like, y'all have so much energy for the president and the vice president who is actually doing things to get shit done within almost nearly 6 months, then that Queen's bum that was in that White House for 4 years, and we had a GOP-run House and Senate. There was no gun reform passed then. And it was more shootings, way more shootings, mass shootings to be exact, during his tenure than in this tenure. The difference is the response level from this president is different from the last bum. The last bum did not give a fuck about y'all. He didn't. He did not care. He didn't care to speak to a lot of the victims from Parkland. He said his thoughts and prayers. And you lucky he said that shit. And I think somebody in the White House wrote that shit because, you know, Donald Trump don't give a fuck about nobody but Donald Trump. Trust me, I know. But David, so here is to sum this up. This is for you. If you got a problem with gun safety not being passed, talk to people on the local level instead of having all these energy, all your energy for the people on the federal level, including the president and the vice president. Take that up with Ron DeSantis, the Florida state legislator, before you take it up with the Democratic Party. Because we ain't the motherfucking problem. It's not like all of y'all delivered the vote anyway. Y'all didn't. It was people, my people, me, my people, and my relatives down south. Not you. Because some of you little young people, y'all voted for Howie Hawkins' ashy, dirty ass. That's right. So until then, stop the performative bullshit. But that's to sum it up with David. So can we talk about Killer Mike? So I'll just play this audio, and usually I don't play audio on my Twitter, but I have to do this because he felt the need to criticize Jim Clyburn, the number 3 Democrat in the House. He felt like that was his duty to do such. So here we go.
Candidate. What I realized when I saw people like Clyburn, which I don't have a problem with in South Carolina for the good work he's done, but I think it's incredibly stupid to not cut a deal before you get someone elected president, and the only thing you give is a federal holiday and nothing tangible out of it. Talk about so.
And I use this candidly, and y'all know I don't like to use it on my live. But nigga, what? See, Killer Mike is the same as you know what, who had a meeting and a photo op with a white supremacist like in sheep clothing. Brian Kemp, governor of Georgia. The motherfucker who is taking your voting rights away in Georgia. Who said your votes did not matter, was ready to throw your votes away. Your votes away. Your whole motherfucking votes away. Not saying voted or not. And you want to criticize Jim Clyburn, who's out there actually doing shit and has done shit forever? While he was doing shit for the state or for his district in South Carolina, motherfucker, you was trying to be a rapper. And nobody knew who you were until you was a national surrogate for Bernie Sanders in 2016. I did not know who you were. And I listened to rap. You could have had a verses if you had some hits, nigga. I mean, let's be real. You want to get that, nigga. But for Killer Mike, the same Killer Mike, to criticize Jim Clyburn, who was in a photo op and a meeting with the white supremacist in sheep clothing who is taking away people's right to vote and is getting sued by the Justice Department, Brian Kemp, how fucking dare you? But I'm going to just say this to you. Killer Mike, and I'm going to keep it real, you ain't shit, and you probably won't amount to greatness. And if you got a problem with me saying that, I don't know what to tell you. Because that was some low ass shit. Like some low ass bum shit. Like how, like why? Why you felt like it was a need to have Jim Clyburn's name in your mouth and the way you talk about him? How somebody talk about you? Killer Mike, you know, you don't got no albums out, you don't got no hits because, bro, you ain't got no hits. You ain't got none. What hits do you have? Are you on iTunes, Spotify? Like, what hits do you have? Like, you always got smoke for your own. You had smoke for him, and you had smoke for Joy Reid. Like, why you got so much smoke for people? And you got smoke for the vice president. Like, what did she do to you? What did black women do to Killer Mike for him to have all this smoke for us? Like, what did we do to you? I want to know. Did you have bad sex with us? Did a bad relationship? Like, what did we do to you? Because I want to know. Like I said, Killer Mike, you out here having meetings with the ops, with a whole entire white supremacist, ready to take our votes away. And you out here criticizing people like Jim Clyburn, the vice president, Joy Reid, who actually give us a real deal in the news. I represent motherfucking Tasha before most of the black women now has shows on MSNBC, and you want to be out here disrespecting us? a bum. Like a whole ass bum. And for Nina Turner, and I'm going to use my friend's word, no edges Nina. Greasy face ass Nina. Because for one, she ain't ashy. But greasy face ass Nina to say, let's talk about it. You trying to get the votes in Cleveland, girl. And I'm from New York, and I'm going to mind my New York business. But the fact is that you're going to be in the House of Representatives to vote on key legislation that will help us. And you got the nerve to criticize a person that you're going to be under, that count the motherfucking votes, that count your votes, that make sure your votes will go on the committee floor? How dare you? You need to keep your greasy Vaseline face out of Congress and let Chantel run. Because Chantel is ready. She's a real Democrat. And she praises other black women. Unlike you, Nina, who for the last 5.5 years have disrespected Democratic voters, aka black voters, caping for a crusty, old-ass white man who fled his home state of New York to be in the lily white state in Vermont, trying to pose himself as a civil rights icon, which is no photos of him being a civil rights icon. He basically lied about his civil rights record. Who has his civil rights record, is the vice president, who has inroads with the black community and has a love and has a relationship with the black community is the president. Because it's damn sure it's not Bernard Sanders of South Brooklyn. So Nina, you need to go ahead with that colonized message that you're using and your white supporters. You need to go on about your business, exit yourself out this race because, girl, you're going to lose. People will remember what you said. What you said about Hillary, what you said about the vice president, and what you said about the president eating a bowl of shit. Voting for you will probably be like eating a bowl of shit. Because right now, you looking like you're full of crap. So here's my words of wisdom to Nina. Nina, you're not a Democrat. We still remember what you said. We still salty of what the fuck you said. You don't really have no edges. Your face is too greasy. You talk OD shit. You haven't really done anything for the black community. You have not been in your community for the last 5.5 years. You've been caping for a white man who left a diverse state that he's from to be in a lily white Vermont, who has not made any inroads with black people and continue not to. And you keep caping for a colonized progressive movement that is going nowhere and will never prevail. So until then, sis, we don't want to hear from you. And I don't want you in the walls of the House of Representatives. Because I'm so sick of these motherfuckers. Like, I'm sick. I'm so sick and I'm so tired of them. And as I said about this whole colonized progressive movement, this movement is bullshit. They haven't been winning stuff. There was an article today describing the mayoral race of why progressive politics is not winning, even in a state, even in a city like New York, because the same white leftists keep disrespecting the black Democratic voting base. They keep disrespecting us. They don't realize, like, New York black voters, half of them are from the South, are from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Disrespecting them is a no-no. You cannot disrespect the elders and then want the elders vote. That don't work that way. It does not work that way. What will work is if you respect them and not call them dumb and low information. New York is one of the most liberal cities, but the voting base, the black base, is they're old school. They're traditional. I can't even say they're moderate and centrist because they don't define themselves as such. My parents don't call themselves centrists and moderates. They don't call them that. They don't call themselves that. They're just a concerned voters who are concerned about the issues and what's going on. And the gentrified progressives seem to not understand. They don't realize, like, gentrification is the reason why they up here, if you really want to get technical. Because they would not have been up here in the 80s and 90s. I can tell you that much. Because the 80s and 90s, New York was crazy. It was on fire. It was to me, I feel like it was a good place because I was raised around community, and people looked out for my sisters and I. But New York, at the end of the day, we're about pragmatic solutions, especially black New Yorkers. White New Yorkers is about protecting their money. Black people is about what you going to do for me. You can talk all of that, but what you going to do? That's how we are. Like, what are you going to do? And as much as I love this person, I feel like Maya messed up on that. Like, once she started, like, going really lefty, and I said this from before, and people got mad at me, but I said, like, she keeps catering to this gentrified left that is not going to bring her to victory. She needed to stay uptown more and talk to more black people. Like, you need to talk to black people in Harlem, because there's still black people in Harlem. There's still black people. There's a lot of black people in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens. Like, you need to talk to them. And how Eric talked to them, he just didn't talk about public safety and stuff. He talked about healthcare. He talked about housing, because there were people moving from this city because they could not afford to live in this city due to gentrification. He was not trying to bring back stop and frisk. And I knew that because I said, that don't make no sense. That's unlawful. Stop and frisk was deemed unlawful. Like, people thought I was being mean, like I hated her. I never hated Maya. I always liked her. I said between her and Eric was the ones to me that were ready for prime time and it was ready to take this city on right now from Bill de Blasio. If Bill de Blasio was to be, kicked out. He should have been, because of his bungle up job with COVID that the governor had to step in. The governor that has all the problems is the governor that stepped in and saved us from having 1 million deaths, because we could have had 1 million people that died in this city alone. Because there's almost 9 million people here. Maya and Eric are the only ones that were ready for prime time. And I think they're still ready for prime time. They're more ready than Catherine, because Catherine has not made no inroads with black people. As good as she is, she not made no inroads with black people. Donovan tried his best, but Donovan's not really known. Donovan is more of a government official. He should have worked for the Biden and Harris administration. Ray McGuire benefited from gentrification. Scott Stringer is just an ass. Let's see. Diane Morales, she was consistent, but nobody believes in progressive politics. And Andrew Yang is a joke. And everybody knew that shit up here. I said it from before. I predicted this whole race out from March and on. Once I started seeing changes in the Wiley campaign. Because I felt like her campaign staffers did not do her good neither. They did a disservice to her. Because in the beginning, she was going uptown. She was going to black neighborhoods. I saw in a lot of black neighborhoods. And then once March hit and once she started getting in bed with some of these leftists, I was like, I don't know how this gonna go. And then the more I saw stuff, I was like, no. But I did rank her as number 2. Most likely, she was ranked number 2 because she got some spots in Harlem. And I don't know about much in the Bronx. But as I said, I don't dislike her. I think she's wonderful. And if Eric is smart, Eric will put her in his administration. But I don't think she want to work for him. But, it is what it is. But like I said, I watched that versus battle. I thought Bow Wow was the shit. I thought he did good. He put on a little weight. He got a little dad belly. His dad belly. He looked good with his little dad belly. I mean, he could still work out because he's still young. But I liked his I like that verses. It was pretty good. Soldier Boy really has no hits. It shows that Soldier Boy sucks. I'm sorry. I never liked him. I never liked him. I never liked the No Limit crew, and I did not care for the Cash Money Millionaires. I did like the Slip and Slide crew from Florida. I think they were good. I always think they were good. But Bow Wow won. Bow Wow won. I like Bow Wow. I like the way he raps. He has good flow. But, deuces, I'm out.